like Carl Hill, who got to be president of 2 schools, Dr. Crouch, who was head of the science department, dean of the graduate school. Just outstanding folk he brought in. And of course, you know, in 1954, there was a Supreme Court decision that outlawed Brown versus Board of Education that outlawed discrimination in public education. So when that happened, I immediately reflected back on what Dr. Davis had told me a year earlier, and what he was doing. And he told me of how he went about to develop a strong academic institution. He wanted all his departments to be strong. And if you look at the old history, you'll see that he had very strong academic programs. But he also told me that he wanted the people around the world to know about Tennessee State University. And he said that academic departments are generally not written about in the daily media. But he said that all newspapers have a sports section, sports editor, and they write about sports, but almost none had any educational section. So then he developed a strong athletic program to write the name of Tennessee State University around the country and around the world. And even back then, he had ideas about integrated athletics. He thought that you could integrate through athletics quicker than you could through academic programs. And he talked about making plans to win national championships, basketball, and to play historical white schools. And he wanted his football team to play before 40,000 fans, and that's what he had planned for the university. And interesting enough, in 1959, we played Central State University in the hole, and the defensive line of Central State University beat up on our line like mad. So Dr. Davis and Coach King was our coach at the time, Henry Arthur King. So Dr. Davis asked Coach King, who coached the defensive line at Central State. And Coach King told him it was a guy named Gentry. So Dr. Davis said, go get him. Now, and that's kind of way that Doc got a lot of his staff. He just identified the very best people in the area, and he invited him to come to Tennessee State. Anyway, Coach King invited Gentry to come down for an interview, and he eventually, after going through the academics and the athletic department, he got to talk with Dr. Davis, and Dr. Davis would talk with Gentry again about winning national tournaments in basketball, playing predominantly white schools in basketball, talked about his football team playing before 40,000 people. And after Gentry left and went back to Central State in Ohio, he told his wife about his visit to Tennessee State University and told her that the president of Tennessee State was crazy. He's talking about winning national championships, talking about playing white team, and he's talking about his football team playing before 40,000 people. And Dr. Haney is really interesting. In 1956, while Gentry was chair of the coaching committee, Coach King had a heart attack and had stopped coaching, and Gentry was appointed chair of the committee. And Gentry was chair of the committee in 1956 when Tennessee State played Florida A&M in the Orange Blossom Classic, and there were 43,000 fans in the stadium. And Gentry laughed about the vision of Dr. Davis as long until he died. I knew about it. He just talked about the vision that Dr. Davis had. He was a man of tremendous vision, and he had the ability to get the support of people that he needed to build the university, to get financial support and all other kinds of support. He was an outstanding person. And it's a real pleasure for me to have known him, for him to kind of take me under his wings. It's also a real pleasure for me to have known Dr. Flowers, who took a special interest in me. A matter of fact, I later had a problem, and the problem was kind of about Dr. Davis and Dr. Flowers. Dr. Flowers wanted me to have his job. He was going to retire early, and he wanted me to have his job. Well, at that time, Dr. Davis had some other designs for me, and I had to walk a kind of tight rope because I didn't want to offend either one of them, because they both had been so kind to me. And it is kind of interesting that, well, when I came here, Dr. Flowers was head of ag. He later was made director of field service